These?
Yeah.
Well, I've had them for a while.
How long's the while?
She still can't see. She better go for a refund on those
You keep
glasses.
talking, you're not gonna be able to see either.
You're right.
She couldn't see retirement. On the.
I didn't
agenda.
have them on then.
She didn't have her glasses on. I'll attest to that.
Where the hell's retirement? Oh, there it is.
I didn't see it over there on that agenda and I thought he forgot it.
Timmy didn't see it, she had her glasses on.
I've been staring at papers for 3 full days,
I
trying to get
know.
stuff ready for state survey. All I've done is 12 hours a day, sitting there in front of a computer with a pile of papers.
Don't look at this one.
I didn't even. Oh, I did go to the floor once today, that's it.
Somebody say something?
Yeah, we corrected that.
Anybody on Zoom?
Nope.
We're going back to live meetings because everybody was just putting their phones on the Zoom and letting it run and going doing what they wanted to do and not paying attention to the meetings. So next month, we're back to live meetings.
About time.
A handful of people. I mean, it was easy because we had people driving from Brattleboro and all over the place coming up to Rutland.
Mhm.
And it was real easy to have it remote, but.
Well, that's where you need to have it, you know, you need to have your camera on.
Oh, the camera is on, but you got 117, 118 people on
So
this
yeah, you
thing,
really
so
can't see everyone.
it's kind of tough to.
That's a big Zoom meeting.
What the telltale
We
sign
do
is
them all
when
the
they
time.
end the meeting
78 people.
and there's still 10 people on Zoom.
We never have
Zoom meeting,
cameras
they
on.
don't close it just to see what's going on. And half of them didn't sign up until started at 5.
You are centers, okay. I don't think
Right,
we're
or
the centers.
Doesn't bother me.
Centers is it.
Mhm.
Bridget went to that whenever she.
All right.
Shall we?
Call me to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In case of fire, other emergencies, there's 3 exits in the room, there, and there. In case of such emergency, please proceed. There's exit to the building, go as far away from the building as you can, so rescue squad and emergency squads can do their job. Please remember, this is a meeting, and people in the audience should only observe and ask questions and public comment. Thank you. So first order of business is, I'd like to make a proclamation. And we're going to get up and read it. And you guys want to join me? So we can see. So this is a proclamation from the town of Hampton entitled Workers' Memorial Day. Whereas every year thousands of American workers are killed by workplace injuries and occupational diseases, and whereas thousands more are permanently disabled, and whereas even more are injured or made ill, and whereas concerned Americans are determined to prevent these tragedies by observing the town of Hampton Workers' Memorial Day on April 28, 2022, as a day to remember people who passed away on the job or were injured while working. Renewing our efforts to build better understanding and training, to create a safer workplace, and rededicate ourselves to help American workplaces maintain a safe environment for their fellow workers. Now therefore, I, Dave O'Brien, Town Supervisor Hampton, do hereby proclaim the 28th of April 2022 as Workers' Memorial Day in the town in Hampton, New York. And I do hereby urge all citizens to take due notice of the observance. Let's see.
Mhm.
All right. Returning to memorials, done this one. That's a nice start of the street.
A lot of them.
I'd like to, I'd like to have a motion to adopt the minutes of the meeting as mailed.
I'll make a resolution that we adopt the minutes as mailed.
I second it.
Motion by Tammy, second by Mr. Sadie. Any omissions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Permits and subdivisions? Don't see any. Dog control officer, I have two to read. The first is on March 18th, 2022. And it is to Town Council Donald Sad.
I don't know. I gotta decide, I guess.
I had to say that one. Carried over in February, a complaint received regarding dogs running at large at a Carver's Falls Road residence. These dogs coming and going on a random basis and harassing the owner and her companion animals. Two attempts to locate these animals have been unsuccessful to date. Ongoing complaint closed. We did identify the dogs. Tickets have been issued to them. And I'm not sure whether they came to court yet or not. But first pass was, well, they're not my dogs. Well, we had pictures to show whose dogs they were. And probably could have gotten about 20 witnesses from Hampton area saying the dogs were on their property, which was probably a mile at least from the dog's residence. Complaint concerning a dog running at large on Hickey Road, and the parent's ticket was issued. So that was a March report received late. The second report we got was another complaint about a dog running at large at 116 Mayville Road residence. The dog was coming and going on a random basis and annoying the residents. Two attempts to locate the owner has been unsuccessful. The ongoing complaint is open. The next was a complaint received concerning a dog running at large on Carlton Road. That's still open. We have identified the dog. The dog has since I got the report, was reported of biting a person. Washington County Dispatch called concerning an injured dog. A sheriff deputy met me at town hall. Situation resolved. Was not here. There's a dog hit out in front here, and the sheriff had to dispatch the dog. I don't know who the owner was, but that's why we persevere about getting the message across. Dogs should be maintained on your property, controlled on your property, not let them run. I know one dog on Hickey Road, which is found standing out in the middle of the road, and there's a bad curve there, and people just don't see the dog coming past. One of these days, that dog's going to get hit. It's not a matter of when, if, it's a matter of when. We need to make sure that our dogs are maintained and control the dogs. There's nothing more crushing than going to dog's owner and say, hey, I just scraped your dog up off the road. I've done that. So just a message to people. People think they're turning the neighbors in. Well, they're actually saving the dogs. And there's another one that we've had multiple reports of one of the dogs on Hickey Road going down quite a ways down the road and nipping small dogs. So we'll see. So that was the BCO report. Tax collector. Did I see Cam? You got money for me, Cam?
Is she on there?
I don't think she knows.
Cam's on here.
Oh, she said she was gonna zoom in.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got $22.48.
Yeah, and she's all done. She's giving it back to the county and all done for 2022.
Planning board report.
Planning board met at the town hall on Wednesday, April 13th. Board members present, myself, Ginny Kinsey, Renee Roundtree, Matthew Pratt, and Richard Cole. Communications, we had a request by Dina Bullock She was representing her mother Dolores Spargello to have a lease recorded in the town. I contacted her lawyer, who I actually happen to know, Mark Worley, works for Ryan Smith and Carmine in Glens Falls, who handled the lease, and he assured me that he has a copy of it in his law office. And I told Dina, or I sent her a letter actually, that the planning board would be putting a copy of that lease in the file on Patty's Patches approval many years ago, for a site plan approval, so I'm putting it in that file. So it will be in the town office. New business, we had a site plan application submitted by Roland Smith for a business called Riverside Rentals for 10 rental storage units on his property on Janier Way off 22A in Hampton. Mr. Smith presented his application, a map showing his property, a diagram of the 10 units with the dimensions to be built on a concrete slab. The electric is going to be provided by solar panels. Parking will be in front of the units. He provided the short environmental assessment form. We determined that with the information he gave us, we had a long discussion with him, he was here. And an analysis of all that information, that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. After reviewing the information, the unanimous approval for the site plan is given by roll call vote. The $100 application fee is brought down to Becky because he forgot to bring a check. So she received that. And he understands that he needs a building permit in order to build the property.
Just one correction, he's not putting solar panels there.
He was doing.
He's just doing those
Solar
solar lights.
lights.
The little
Solar
solar
lights.
lights. He is
Okay.
putting solar panels on his barn, but that's a separate project, not
Yeah.
part of this one.
So good catch, because I wasn't.
Yes,
Yeah, he's just putting the little solar powered lights in,
on each.
the individual lights
Lights.
with the solar lights. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no electricity or
No.
plumbing to
Yeah.
the storage.
No,
units.
no, there's nothing.
There'll be no heat, no.
No
Yeah.
heat, no
No,
water,
not
no
electric.
electricity.
Because it's quite a ways from his house, the two houses
Yeah, the
there.
houses are way back in there.
Yeah, and this is partway, halfway down there. And we also talked to him about any issues with flooding, because I went out there when the river was really high, and there's not a place that crosses the road at all that goes out there, but there is one swampy part off.
I was gonna ask which side of the road, you said gonna be on the left side of the road,
As you go down, it's gonna be on the right hand
Right
side.
side.
so towards the river.
Yeah, well, there's a gigantic field there, and it's just there where it's still land that doesn't flood anymore.
Gotcha.
So that's quite a property out
In
there.
another 10 years, another flood.
Sort of.
With the climate change.
Because we were doing this, we didn't get to the agenda that we originally were going to do. We're gonna be working on ideas of what Hampton will look like in agriculture in 10 years from now. Trying to envision, it's gonna be a total brainstorming evening. Just trying to paint a picture of what the future is bringing. And I know I was just down in Queensbury, that area again, and the building that is coming up north out of there is just incredible. Can't believe it. They're covering everything now, houses and stuff.
Where's
So at our next meeting, we're gonna be working on that.
Very good.
And we hope at our next meeting also, we've been discussing education with young people for agriculture, and there are 2 teachers. One comes from Wells, and she works with the 4-H down there, and another one in Granville works with the FFA. And so we're gonna try to get them to come to our meeting also to talk about what they're doing. So we're still working on that, as long as we don't get interrupted with other things, but. So that is the report, and our next meeting is Wednesday, the 11th of May.
Okay. Any questions for Bonnie? Highway Superintendent's report.
Okay, so past month, we are maintaining equipment and hauling in material for upcoming grading. We did start sweeping last week, and then it snowed. So,
It's all your fault, it's still there.
yeah, we didn't take anything off the truck, so we were ready. The rule of thumb is April 15th, 10 good days before anything comes off. I waited. So, spoke with Lane Enterprise about our culverts for South Road, prep for paving. We're still looking at 2 to 3 weeks out for them. September, bummer. CHIPS funding for paving looks about the same, which is kind of kicking the butt there because with the price of mobilization and paving going up, that means we're losing ground this year. I spoke with Ken Luskin a little bit about some different things we could do, try to keep our what we've got on plan in the past few years, blacktopping more, and staying ahead of our blacktops. Fuel tank. We have located a tank, 1,000 gallon. It's as far as all the research and the 3,000 pages of New York State stuff that I read, it should be good. We don't, as long as the placement and it's got containment of half the capacity, which this tank does. And it's also double wall, so we're good there. It's got to be on a concrete pad. I think we're in good shape because if we went up to 1,100 gallon tank, then New York considers that bulk fuel storage. Then we start getting into a lot of issues there. But from what I can see here, we're in good shape. Tank cost is $6,600. Price is going up by the week. The only problem is right now they cannot figure out what it's going to cost to ship it. They don't have a regular shipping company out of Granby to haul this stuff. So it's pretty much a bid war right now. So we're looking anywhere from a little over 7,000 to get the tank delivered from the $6,600 beginning price. I'm hoping to stay under $11,000 total project. That's concrete. Roof, I think we can stay well under it. But I'd like to say $11,000 we're going to be at to be safe. I think we could be under 10. But with the rising cost of everything daily, we don't know because another thing is 10 to 16 weeks before delivery of the tank. And that's the closest time frame there is out there.
Entirely, once you sign your contract, your price will be fixed for the tank, correct?
Yes.
But the shipping will
Yeah.
negotiate.
Once they said if we can call by this week, we're at about 6,600 and change right there. But yes, then the rest is just going to be our cost to ship it. You're getting it shipped here.
Right, and we've given up giving shipping quotes now too because it changes. So we give you an estimate and then
It's very hard to quote anything. I
change it at the time of shipping. We get a hard delivery basically when it's on the truck.
There's been a few things in the garage. We've been kind of just wondering about prices and they're like, it's show up and buy it. And I'm like, well, the municipality doesn't really work. And they're like, we really don't care.
Yeah.
Because they said if it was, it would be a 4-day. They said it would be good for 4 days.
Yeah.
And that's what we're finding. So,
That's about right.
along with that, I need approval from the town board for roadside mowing contract in Washington County, which I got the paperwork here, and approval for payment for my highway school in June. So I got all that paperwork here. I can run that up to you guys.
Okay, what is the cost on the school? I think the school is 150. What is the travel costs?
You're killing me here.
Overnight costs?
It's in Ithaca, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go on that.
That's a
I
jump.
wrote some stuff down somewhere. And besides that, we purchased a new pressure washer for the garage. And that's about it for the month.
While you're getting that together, I will make a resolution to enter into a contract to mow the roadside for the county.
So move, Mr. Sadie,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Karen. Any other comments?
Do we have a cost associated with that?
We get-
Okay, that's gonna be dollars a
We're
mile.
paid per month.
Okay.
I think it runs about 2,200.
Oh, so
Should be
we're
more.
doing
What's that?
How much is the roadside paving?
2244.94.
Per mile.
So you're $269.50 per center lane mile. 8.33 miles, 2,244.94.
Good.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And
Carried.
seeing as how personally, I will throw this out there, I'll make a resolution, if it passes, it passes, but I say that we move on the diesel fuel tank. I mean, the
Well,
funds are
I
there.
understand. I want to wait till we talk about the ARPA funds.
Okay.
Make sure we agree where we're gonna pay from it for, so I wasn't ignoring it. I want to make sure we understood we were paying for it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay?
All we need is the rest of the dollars and cents for the school.
All right, so we are early registration fee before May 20 at 110, after 150. And I do have to get the email back from Travis Keys on the lodging. That was supposed to be sent down to me with this stuff and it wasn't.
Well, I think we should send them anyways.
Oh, I don't disagree.
I think that, there's a lot of good things down there, so what I'd ask is that we approve it, and he'll send me the information, I'll distribute the cost to him.
I agree.
So.
I'll make the resolution that we.
Resolution by Tammy, second by Sadie.
Yep.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. So,
It's just Tyler going, right?
just Tyler.
Okay.
You can be okay now.
I hope so.
As Ithaca, as
You
the
know,
wild.
it doesn't matter because those highway superintendents, a lot of them
They
know,
stick together.
they all talk. All I have to do is go to Whitehall, hear everything that happened.
I'll make a resolution to accept the highway supervisor's report.
Motion by Mr. Patrica, do I have a second?
Second.
All
What?
in favor?
Who's never
Aye.
done that?
Supervisors, we move down.
Oh, supervisor, whose report?
His report.
We don't have to vote on
do
this.
that.
I was just like,
No.
I've never done that before, but okay, I can
I thought you
write.
meant the supervisor's report. 'cause
No.
I read it online.
I read it on mine too.
Okay. Supervisor's report. Any comments, questions?
There now.
Okay. Need a motion
Yeah, I
to
make a
accept-
motion.
Okay.
Motion by Mr.
Accept the
Patrica,
Can I second it?
second by Mr. Sadie. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. This is a note from the county. We're experiencing the same thing as the towns everywhere. Cost of asphalt paving went up by 23%. And it's adjusted on a daily basis just about. So we're automatically about 23% behind in our paving ability this year. So we'll have that discussion a little bit later. I would like to acknowledge that there was a transmission project that's going through Washington County that's going to bring $273 million to the county over 30 years, which is going to help the residents. So that's a good thing.
What's the program?
There's a transmission line going from Quebec down to New York City. It's going to be buried in Champlain. It's going to come out of the water in Putnam, go through Washington County, down through Saratoga, Rensselaer, Albany, Greene County, and then re-enter the Hudson and go down to New York City to provide power to the city.
And how does it help Washington County residents?
You get paid,
$273 million into Washington County over 30 years.
it just pays
The
like
taxes,
a rental.
taxes, rental. Yeah.
So that money's going to the county, then, correct?
Will be distributed to the towns and parts
Well,
of the
it's going to the
county.
county, but then it gets.
And more importantly, the biggest impact is on school districts.
What's that?
The biggest impacts on school districts. Because their tax rates are higher than anybody else's
Mhm.
by a lot. So. Okay, old business. Here's where we want to jump into ARPA funds. I sent you what we spent from the ARPA funds. The money was also freed up so we can use it however we want. I think for this year, We received $46,563. And we spent an additional $2,038.73 to furnish the highway garage, improve the town bridging center. Paving funds not reimbursed, lost revenue from the justice fund, supplies for COVID. It's all there that we spent. We will have another $44,000 to spend. And I've listed potential expenditures, what we talked about. But now with the increase in funds, we have some different options. Here's what we've talked about previous to that. Is $2,000 to improve the water system in the town garage because it does smell. And the hot water tank needs to be replaced, probably with an instant water tank. What ends up happening because it's a large tank over there, the water sits in it, it reacts with the anodes that are in it. And it rusts and it leaves streaks on the windows, so we need to clean it up. The second part was what we talked about was $11,000 for the diesel fuel tank replacement. No matter where we spend the money from, we need to replace it because one of these days the state's going to walk in and look at it and say, you should have replaced this years ago when you were told to. And we will then be more at the mercy of the state to how the replacement is. So I like what Tyler has done and the research he's put into that, and it's certainly a lot less than we thought it was going to be. We were originally talking $20,000 or $30,000. We've decided that to replace the gas tank would be substantially expensive. Probably you're talking that $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 just for tank for gas. So much cheaper to buy at the local gas station. Use an electric card. There was a request to reimburse the fire department for a generator. There was a suggestion about maybe we needed to have a generator for town hall and garage. And that was about, that additional funds was about $27,000. So here's, which left roughly $17,500 if we took that approach. But when you open it up, there's two things that I think we should really seriously look at. If we fought for years to get our paving up, is one option is to use additional money or part of the additional money to replace, to catch up with our paving. So we're not losing ground anymore. The second thing is that there is a need for a truck. Or if you order a truck today, you would have a truck in 18 months to 2 years. So we could use part of it to pay for the truck. So I think we need to address what we want to do. I think the two priorities that I see on here is number one, the water in the garage has to be done. If we do it here or out of the highway fund or the garage fund, it still needs to be done one way or another. The fuel tank replacement, that's definitely got to get done. That should come, in my opinion, that should come out of the ARPA funds, but it's not my decision, it's the board's decision. Generator for fire department and generator for the town hall. Discussion.
So we're gonna do, for me, if we're doing one generator, I'd rather see the firehouse. It's a bigger building. It's set up for whatever needs, whatever emergency needs we have. And I mean, it's just, to me, it seems like probably the smartest thing to do.
I mean, I think a generator here is wasteful. Because what are you gonna fit in here? 20 people?
20, 25 people.
You're not gonna fit enough people to really matter, where the
and
firehouse
so-
is bigger.
And with the holding tank for the septic, it's, that would fill up in a matter of a day or two, and we'd end up having to have it pumped 20 times if it's a power outage that lasts more than 3 or 4 days.
So did want to say that it would be the town hall and the garage
I was gonna say we could put people, live
to
too.
run the generator for both places.
Yeah,
Whether the town hall gets it or not, that's one thing, but as importantly is the town garage. If We don't have a heat source in there. You could run into problems with it. Tyler, you're the highway superintendent. You should speak to both these issues. All three issues.
It's on, some of it I understand having a generator. I wouldn't put it on a priority list by any means. I don't see anything in my years of being around, as long as the equipment's inside, I don't have a problem starting. Most everything that's an emergency piece of equipment is also able to be, heated by other glow plugs. So we're built into the truck. I don't see it as a huge benefit to me. So on your guys' end, it's whether if there was an emergency, you want to use the garage. Then again, if it's a real bad emergency, we're probably gonna want our equipment indoors.
Yeah.
So how many people are you putting in there?
Right.
So that's my thought on it.
I already crossed it off, but
I was gonna say, I just looked over here, it started in 1997, there's never been a generator over there, and we've never had an issue, so I don't wanna say that out loud because tomorrow.
quiet.
But,
Thanks. Monday's gonna be good, I can see. Nothing's gonna happen.
sorry, you blame it on me.
So taking that out, first of all, do we want to reimburse the fire department for their cost of the generator, which is, I think, was 7,000, is that right, Mike?
Yes.
6.
6?
Or was it 6,800?
Would you be happy with 6?
I'd love 6, yes.
About
65.
I mean, we are set up, we have a commercial kitchen, we have a
Right.
septic system, so in case of emergency, we're available to the community for a wide variety of services.
Right.
That generator powers the entire property, including the post office. So,
Okay, so now we're down to,
So what do we decide for a number?
6, if you're happy with 6, I'm happy with 6.
$6,000 to the fire department.
this is great, thank you very much.
well, we haven't decided yet, we're just talking about it. Don't jump ahead of yourself. This isn't the easiest thing to do all day.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back. What about the water in the town garage? $2,000.
Is it, I mean, what are we looking at replacing, just the water?
Yeah, what are you gonna get for
No.
$2,000?
Are you gonna put a
For
filtration?
$2,000, we're gonna put filtration system in, plus take that out and put a instant on
It's
hot water heater.
electric or propane or,
Yet to be determined.
I mean,
I think
for hot water, how much, do you use it for the pressure washer and all that?
No,
I was gonna say, it's just for hand washing.
they're just for hand washing.
So it could be a little.
So
little
electric
tank.
would probably be the best, because propane, you're gonna have to get tank rental and propane and all that stuff, so.
So does the board want to leave that in?
I don't have.
If you think it's important,
It's more important that he thinks that we need to clean our windshields better. And
okay, that makes
he
sense.
does use hot
Well, I like
water.
to be able to clean my hands in there. That'd be.
I want to be able to see on the trucks on the road. So leave that in.
Okay,
Diesel fuel tank replacement.
Yes.
Yes.
yes, definitely,
Okay,
and I'll make the resolution now.
well,
Let's wait till we're done.
I'll make
Go
them
ahead.
all.
I'll make a resolution to use the money to replace the diesel fuel tank. Which is something that we're gonna need, and let's do it now before like Dave said, we get smacked by the state.
okay. I have a motion by Mr. Sadie. He's dying to spend money tonight.
Hell yeah, I am.
It's not his money he's spending though.
Change the letter on my
I'll second
registration.
it.
Second by Tammy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Order it tomorrow. Or tonight if you can.
Before it goes up again.
Donald.
Yeah, why not? Just to help with some money.
And I know Dave loves to do that, so.
If I vote no, it doesn't carry.
that's right.
Doesn't matter.
So Councilman
No, we got-
Dean, absent.
It's still carried.
Councilman Patrica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Taryn,
Yes.
Councilman Sadie,
Yes.
Supervisor O'Brien.
Yes. So, once we get this done, we got to roll call vote on all.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Yep.
So we're going to accomplish it with one roll call vote, save her a lot of time.
I like more, I don't wanna go home.
You never have to roll call votes.
I know, said you.
Generator fire department for $6,000. Does anyone want to suggest 5?
No, I'll just do a 6. I'll make it.
I'll make the resolution.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, are we doing each one of these
Are we doing them
individually?
individually or we do them all together?
We're going to do them all together.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
I'm like, what?
He was trying to get them down to 5, basically.
Well, you spent money up above. I was trying to get
All
it
right,
back.
let's focus, because obviously nobody
We are
knows what you're
focused.
doing.
So we agree, no generator for the town hall or garage.
Right.
That's correct.
So that leaves us $25,525.23. And I'm gonna defer to Tyler. What's your opinion?
I feel like we could use this for paving.
$25,000 proper paving.
I'm all for using it.
We probably should focus on the paving. Really? I mean, I can get by with what I got in the garage. I think it's probably,
For how long?
Is that different amount?
we,
You're taking the 46, right?
with what we got for budget and stuff, I think we can do all right getting another 1 ton well. I think it'd be fair to the taxpayers to take some of that money and get them ahead a little bit. With some paving, because we're still losing ground and we'd like to get uneven ground.
Well, no matter what, we should address looking at a truck because it's 18 months, 2 years.
Oh, no doubt, we're still, the purchase of a 1 ton is still in the, I mean, that, we were thinking about that before we were gonna use any of these funds anyways. But just thinking it over, every bit we can get ahead to catch back up with our blacktops is very important.
So proposed use of the balance of the fund is 25. I'll just do the numbers, check the numbers out to make sure we're right in the numbers. It's about $25,000. So whatever remaining funds after what we've approved, will go towards paving budget for this year.
27,563 is what I get.
So,
hang on, we got a question.
yes,
It was mentioned in the past that the town would also reimburse the fire company. We're purchasing 2 defibrillators, and I don't know if that's out of this money or some other money.
pick them up, come on, so over the money.
Yeah, I think that
We
might have
just
been in
ordered-
the
we just ordered them.
COVID supplies. I think that we already had that allocated in the
I just wanted to-
$3,300 up there, David.
Yeah.
Okay.
We already
No.
approved that.
Supply, yeah.
Does the garage have a separate water thing than here?
No,
No,
It's
the
all
water
the
runs
same?
from here to there.
So would it be
Probably the
filtered
filtration
here?
system would be put in here.
you filter downstairs, we're welcome.
So we could like drink this water?
Good
You're
chance.
drinking now.
No, you,
Won't kill you.
I know, I'll kill you, but
Just
It's
don't
kinda hard.
inhale.
it's kind of hard to drink when you got your nose plugged, you
Do
know?
you have a well up at your house?
Yes, I do, and it does not smell like this.
I'll tell you, it's the same water coming down through here.
Mm-mm.
No,
This
it's
is just
not.
the sulfur.
This is
I
sulfur.
have gold.
This
This
is
is
It depends.
sulfur.
It depends on where they drilled.
Yeah.
It's not the same water. Every well, I do too.
So fix up the sulfur coming down through the rocks here.
It depends on, it depends on who drilled and how fast they drilled and where they went through.
We're kind of-
It also depends on kind of blasting.
We sit on a giant arterial well.
It doesn't matter. It's all
I've
in
rode
where
my
they're
bike for
drilling.
5 years.
So anyhow,
They use it in town to go
wasting time.
Yeah, you're wasting time.
So 25,000, I'm gonna say the balance of funds we have left over will go towards paving.
Because I got 27,563.96. If you take off if we start with your 46 and you take off 13 and 6 and whatever, it's
We're gonna take out
27.
13 and 6.
It's 40, the 2,000 is what we
11,000
spent,
and 6,000 and the 2,000.
but the 2,000 what we spent over on this past year, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
correct?
Right, the 2,000 is what we spent over.
So you
We've
gotta
already
subtract
committed.
that
I
out.
know, so it's
So
down to
we had-
46,563.
No,
Oh,
is
then
down
take,
to 44.
all right, because I took it off to 48, all right,
44.
all right.
So we still may be at 27,000 if the fuel
No.
shed comes under, it comes in around 9,000. He said it was anywhere from 9 to 11.
Yeah,
So whatever's left over can go towards paving.
That's the point.
okay, so that's the planned use of funds. Can I have a motion to adopt this?
25,545.
I'll make the motion to adopt the stimulus fund proposed usage as amended for 2022.
I'll second
Do we have a second? This is a roll call vote.
Oh, I thought we didn't need any.
Just gonna say that. I'm
it.
like,
You made
oh,
the
shut up.
correction to
Shut
making
up.
6,000 for the fire department.
Huh?
You made the correction. to
Yep,
6,000.
that's why he said it was amended.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay.
Roll it out.
Pretty funny.
Councilman,
Glasses checked again.
hey, look, there's 3 levels to it. Shut up. Councilman Dean, absent. Councilman Patrica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Taryn,
Yes,
Councilman Sadie,
Yes.
Supervisor O'Brien.
Sure, why not?
Don't get to her 3rd level.
All right. That's taken care of. New business retirement. We need an amendment to the retirement. New resident retirement because
We didn't fill out Tyler's info correctly. I'll leave it at that. So first of all, before you do that, Don,
Okay.
can we have approval for his 3-month calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve this 3-month calendar.
Give a second.
Yep, certainly.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
retirement? You're working too hard at Shaw's. You're all tired out when you get here.
Okay,
You can't concentrate like you used to be able to.
I can't write as fast. Retirement, okay.
None of us see it if he's not.
Not gonna see it when I kick it?
Yeah.
Didn't see a thing. I don't know how he got that black eye.
All right.
So
30, yeah.
retirement,
Should I make a resolution to resubmit the retirement as amended for the state of New York?
that's the correct resolution. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
I'll let Tammy do it. Oh,
Not a bet.
Tammy did
All
it.
right, Tammy can second it.
Thank you.
Roll call required.
Yep.
Councilman Dean is absent. Councilman Patrica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Taryn,
Yes.
Councilman Sadie,
Yes.
Supervisor O'Brien.
Yes. Okay, carried. Next, public comments. Next, audit and pay bills.
We got a hand.
I didn't see anyone. Too slow, you lost.
You ain't got time enough for tonight.
I just wanna, the website, town website where it's under the fire company, that just needs to get updated. Our chief is now Joe Mead and our president is now Richard Cole.
Okay.
Oh, and also if you could update the planning board, portion on the
With the
town
new
website
members?
too.
Now, who are the new members? Joel, George, Lucy, Max?
No, stop.
Richard and.
Are those the planning board members?
Richard Cole,
Richard Cole,
Just call me.
Ginny, Renee,
who's your alternate? I forgot his name.
Stuart
Stuart.
Griffin.
That's the name.
Okay,
And the other thing is, I don't know, I had said something to Becky,
Yeah.
where the site plan law, when you go through your whole thing of laws,
Hmm.
I don't think the current site plan law is on there.
okay. I'll look and see, because I thought I just looked it up.
Because she printed me off one that was the current one, because all I had were the draft ones.
Okay,
Like draft stuff.
I'll look and see.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments?
Make a resolution that we, pay the bills.
I'll second.
Motion by Tammy, second by Mr. Sadie. Roll call vote.
Oh, will you stop it?
Aye.
It's money.
We don't ever do that when we pay the bills.
It's money, we should.
Okay. Councilman Dean, absent. We're gonna do this every month now. Councilman Patrica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Taryn,
Yep.
Councilman Sadie,
Yep.
Supervisor O'Brien.
Yes. Okay,
You started something new.
well,
Way in.
if you want to do it for one thing, you should do it for all things.
Make a motion.
I'll
Is there a roll call vote on that?
Only if you said that. No, I was hoping somebody would say that.
Actually, you don't need a resolution, just get up and walk out. It's over.
Yeah, that's his other thing. We'll
Yeah,
just
what's in
walk
the
out and
form?
leave.
Yeah.
Meeting's over.
Thank you, Becky.
You're